Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The time by Sagicor Bank is 7.
I'm me, the style is no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress, you charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What I want?
What's a guan?
That's a guan, pa.
What a guan?
What I want?
What a guan! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m.
On CVM TV.
And that's a guan, pa. What a guan?
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
To get this party started.
Cricket played. Louder.
Come to the biggest party in sport and be part of the action. Get your tickets at the local box office or at cplt20.com. Watch it live on Rush Live and Louder, the home of cricket in the Caribbean.
I'm me, the style is no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress, you charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Coming up in CVM News at 7, NWC tightens water supply. PNP criticizes recovery response. JLP rejects Golding's socialist push. 131 medical students to receive Dr. Barry Wynn Scholarship this year. And later on in sports, the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons are steamrolling their way through the CPL. They prepare to face the Amazon Warriors later on this evening. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, August 23, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks for joining us. Customers served by the National Water Commission's Constant Spring Network are facing further changes this evening to their water supply as severe drought conditions continue to affect available resources. The NWC says storage at the Hermitage Dam has now dropped to 31.4% capacity, forcing an adjustment to the current water supply schedule as the agency moves to conserve what remains. The new schedule takes effect tomorrow, Monday, August 24, with communities being divided into daytime and nighttime supply periods. Customers in areas including Queensborough, Meadowbrook, Pembroke Hall and Washington Gardens will receive water between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., while areas such as Red Hills Road, Marvelly, Grand Spen, Havendale and Constant Spring Road will be supplied between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. The schedule will remain in place until further notice, with the NWC saying it will continue to monitor dam levels and drought conditions. PNP Chairperson Dr. Angela Brown-Burke is criticizing the government's response to Hurricane Melissa, saying too many Hanoverians are still waiting for assistance. Brown-Burke says the government has failed to act with sufficient urgency, leaving families without basic support months after the disaster.
We cannot allow them to continue using the funds that they get from Melissa victims as they have amassed. We must ask for accountability and we must ask for transparency. In fact, roundabout now, we are asking them for every single account that you have, every single contribution that you get already. We want to see how it was spent.
JLP Communications Chairman and Government Senator Abka Fitz-Henley is pushing back against opposition leader and PNP President Mark Golding's support for democratic socialism. Fitz-Henley says Jamaica should not return to the political and economic policies of the 1970s, which he argues contributed to widespread economic hardship.
We should not forget that during the 1970s, under this regime of democratic socialism, unemployment increased by 27%, while the lack of foreign exchange and material shuttered factories. The policies caused severe energy blackouts and caused empty supermarket shelves, leading to public rationing of food and spiraling tension on the streets of Jamaica over the same food shortage. Golding and the PNP should be told in no uncertain manner that Jamaica will not go back to a political philosophy which demolished the lives of thousands of Jamaicans and spawned the crisis, elements of which I just alluded to.
Now, with the new school term set to begin in just a few more weeks, questions remain over whether all damaged schools will be ready for face-to-face classes. The Education Ministry says $25 billion has been allocated for repairs, but the pace of the work has come under scrutiny. Government Senator and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Marlon Morgan, says the ministry is pressing contractors to speed up the work.
Having engaged contractors several months ago, the fact that we're spending in the order of $25 billion, which is a significant sum that we would have had to carve out and provide for the repair and reconstruction of schools consequent on the passage of Hurricane Melissa. It is concerning. The takeaways that we are not where we would have wanted to be at this stage. but we're pulling out all the stops to get there.
And as the repair challenges plaguing schools for the new school term approaching, another issue affecting students is the rules governing their appearance. As schools prepare to reopen, there is debate over how far grooming rules should go and how students should be disciplined when those rules are breached. Attorney and spokesperson for Hear the Children's Cry, Priscilla Dehaney, welcomes the move to end school lockouts over grooming infractions.
Balancing the rights of our children is important, and to look into other ways in which they can also still experience consequences or be punished for breaching of these rules. So therefore, we believe that, instead of locking them up, because school is important, and we believe that the education is what they come to school for, not necessarily for dressing or to disregard their grooming altogether. But it is important that they have an education.
Still on education, over 100 medical students are set to benefit from much-needed financial relief this year through the Dr. Barry Wint Memorial Scholarship Program. The 2026 recipients span critical fields including gerontology, mental health, nursing education, and speech and language therapy, areas identified as gaps in Jamaica's health system. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton hailed the awardees, noting that the scholarships are part of a deliberate strategy to incentivize studies in priority areas. He reminded that the students will be bonded in Jamaica or to Jamaica in the coming years, ensuring that the investment translates into service at home and strengthens the country's capacity to deliver care.
This year, the Barwin Scholarship is in its third year, and we're pleased to announce 131 recipients ranging in a number of disciplines. You may recall that these disciplines were determined by the areas of shortage that we have in the health field, and that persons are bonded to spend up to 3 years in the public system. So that's the idea of the scholarship. It's a development scholarship, and we had announced it for 5 years, and this is the third year running. So congrats to those who have benefited, and we look forward to the ceremony this Friday.
In other news now, questions are still being asked about Jamaica's public beach access, including the number of beaches that are actually available to the public and what free access really means. CEO of the Jamaica Environment Trust, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, says the focus should not only be on the numbers, but on whether Jamaicans have a fundamental right to access the country's coastline.
Do Jamaicans have a right of access? No. And then we are pushing for it to be a public commons, which basically is a resource that belongs to all of us, should be managed in public interest for current and future generations. So not something that is commercialized and you can then take away access based off of who owns the land or who has a license. But as a Jamaican, I know I have a right of access. Not unique. Not out of the box request. This is something that happens in other Caribbean countries, and I think it's something that we need to be talking about more rather than focusing on those numbers.
Concerns about the quality of care at the Cornwall Regional Hospital are growing following the death of 38-year-old Donald Cook. His aunt, Mariah Davis, says the family is seeking answers about his treatment, including the medication he was prescribed and the care he received while at the facility.
My nephew went there to get treatment, and based on all the examining that they have done for him, they comes up and they mention that he does have cancer of the blood, which is treatable. They prescribe a medication that is not in the island. I call several different pharmacies in the island, and they all tell me that they don't have that medication. They haven't seen it for years. And so they have alternative medication that can be used, even at Cornwall Regional Hospital, that they said that could help. The doctor refused to authorize that alternative medication, and so because of that, they strapped him down on the bed. He couldn't move. His feet began to swell. I asked the nurse, "Can you help untie his feet, so when the family member goes into the hospital to see him, and now that he can't move, can you just remove it? The nurse told me that they're unable to move it unless the doctor told them so.
There's more CVM News at 7 in just a moment.
Students, as we begin this exciting new school year, I want to take a moment to welcome you all back and to remind you how important it is to do your part to keep yourselves and your friends safe this year. School is a place for learning, growing, and having fun with your friends. But remember, it's also a place where you need to stay alert and look out for each other. Here are a few simple tips to help keep you safe. And always call us at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency on our 211 Child Abuse Hotline. We're here for you. Have a fantastic school year. Stay safe and take care of each other.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Still in the local news, Executive Director of Human Rights Lobby Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, is reigniting conversations around the recently leaked CCJ emails, insisting Jamaicans should not allow this to divert their thoughts from the CCJ. This, as she says, the country needs to proceed with its push for constitutional reform, which could see Jamaica adopting the CCJ as its final appellate court.
After weeks of talks about the controversial leaked email scandal rocking the Caribbean Court of Justice, some critics feared the Jamaican populace would be more convinced not to sanction it becoming Jamaica's final appellate court. But as efforts toward constitutional reform slow, JFJ head Michael Jackson is urging Jamaicans not to be deterred in making the CCJ push possible as the nation severs ties with the Crown.
And I would urge the Caribbean Court of Justice to announce that an investigation has commenced, or at the very least, say to the public across the Caribbean region what mechanisms of accountability exist. However, while we can collectively call for an independent and transparent investigation, I want to urge us in Jamaica not to use those email leaks as an excuse not to move forward with the CCJ.
Jackson reasons the CCJ benefits are numerous, adding not many Jamaicans will be successful in funding a trip to the Privy Council or getting the necessary travel documents to do so.
So the CCJ offers regional body of law that we can understand the strength of our respective constitutions. CCJ, more so than the Privy Council, in my humble opinion, would be more willing to speak to significant matters such as our savings law clauses, so that Caribbean constitutionalism is one that we cannot underestimate. No, the Privy Council remains a colonial residual that we need to get rid of. True sovereignty requires that the final interpretation of our Constitution and our laws rest with Caribbean judges who understands our society, our history, and our aspirations.
She contends the emails should serve as a reason to bolster the CCJ, not abandon it, even as she echoes cries for a constitutional reset.
It's important that we move beyond delay, political positioning. It's important that we call on the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, the Leader of the Opposition, Mark Golding, to resume serious talks at Vale Royal and get on with the business of our country. The people of Jamaica, we have waited long enough. We have made moves, but we need to ensure that we have a constitutional reform commission, one that is headed by an independent person, not by a political appointee, to ensure that the interest of the Jamaican people is brought to the fore. And I would urge the lay magistrates, constitutional reform speaks to your core work.
With electricity costs fluctuating, customers often question why their bills change even when they have not bought new appliances or significantly altered their routine. Speaking on the Jamaica Information Services Get the Facts program, Jamaica Public Service Director of Corporate Communications, Winsome Callum, says there are several factors behind those changes, with consumption and fuel charge among the key drivers.
The bill will go up and down depending on a number of things. There's some parts of the bill that are set, like the energy charge, which is set by the OUR, that doesn't change unless the regulator changes it. Oh. But then there's some other moving parts. Mm-hmm. The biggest moving part is your usage. So your usage goes up and down. You might have guests over one weekend. You might have, even if you don't buy any new appliances, maybe you're using the appliances differently. Okay. So you need to pay attention to that.
The 72nd staging of the Denbigh Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show was held from July 31 to August 2, 2026 at the Denbigh Showground in Maypen, Clarendon. The three-day event was held under the theme, Growing Forward, Cultivating a Path to a Better Jamaica. Let's watch the recap, just in case you missed it.
It's a long time I don't see me there sipping on a coconut right here at Denbigh 72. If you don't know about there, I bet.
No joke. This slice of Jamaica's staple August tradition was the place to be, laugh, explore, and share over the 3 days, July 31 to August 2. Anchored by the theme, Growing Forward, Cultivating a Path to a Better Jamaica. The celebration of the agricultural sector, showcasing local farming, innovation and food security laced with culture, brought out the best together on one ground in Clarendon. Farmers, businesses, industry stakeholders and members of the public from across the island came together with the young and the not so young, appreciating and showcasing the land and its bounty.
Lease handover event is important because we've been working for some time on the Southern Plain Agricultural Development, which is one of the largest infrastructure development projects of the government within the agriculture sector. That we have gotten to the point where we now bring the investors into the agro park to commence production, because with all this infrastructure work, if there's no production, then it will still not be a successful project.
Nutrimix is no longer just feed. Nutrimix is a one-stop shop. We have feed, medications, solutions, vaccines. We have farm equipment. We want to make sure we also have genetics. We want to make sure that we have the one-stop shop for our farmers, that they can come and get everything that they need for their farms.
The world is changing, the idea of production, the idea of agriculture is changing, and more importantly, the world and the climate is changing. So what we're looking towards is to basically make farmers more adaptable by equipping them with the knowledge to go forward and to actually adjust their production systems based on the demands and the changes and flows of the world.
As a part of what we do, we engage with quite a bit of MSMEs, and so we spoke about our client services program and how our programs can assist those persons who are seeking to get registered with their different entities or to travel overseas to export. We want to make sure that we can help them with that. And so the biggest takeaway is that standards do matter. You know, for us, it's really about standards being at the core of everything, whether it is training that we're doing, whether it is that we're testing an item, whether it is calibrating equipment, testing, all depends on standards.
It was a sponsor's spreadsheet brought to life through months of preparation. The sweat, no smiles, big returns from the messages reminding locals and visitors that the rock is fertile. Despite the setbacks of hurricanes and drought, Missed economic projections and other challenges, the sun still shines.
I think this year's stage of Denbigh shows that we're growing forward. That despite suffering a Category 5 hurricane 9 months ago, we're able to show resilience. We're able to bring together our farmers, bring out our people, and to show that agriculture is alive and well and getting stronger. This year, it's really about the infusion of technology in agriculture, making it much more productive and introducing those principles to our farmers.
Meanwhile, some seasoned farmers continue to put in the hard work, while youth in agriculture are making strides with technology.
I am actually looking to go into agriculture as a business, and so there was a lot of information that I could get. So I think I was having more fun than the children.
The challenges remain, however, particularly in getting more young people to embrace agriculture and farm forward. Daniel Brown, CVM News.
Thank you, Danielle. The debate over the demolition of homes in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney has prompted a deeper examination of Jamaica's long-standing land access problem. In a new paper titled Majoring in the Minor, opposition spokesman on education Damian Crawford argues that the focus on the roughly 600 occupants of Cooper's Pen risks overlooking a much larger national issue. Crawford points to Jamaica's history of slavery, emancipation, and colonial land policies, arguing that formerly enslaved Jamaicans gained freedom without gaining meaningful access to land. He says that history helped create patterns of landlessness that persist today, with the paper estimating that hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans are considered squatters. Crawford is now making the case that the solution requires Jamaica to look beyond individual squatter settlements and examine instead access to Crown land as a possible starting point for reparatory justice. We now turn to regional news. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service responded to at least 2 bomb threats on Saturday. The details now from TTT News.
Reports of bomb threats received at multiple locations and assured that the threats are being treated seriously. It said officers from the Explosive Detection and Disposal Unit, supported by police and CID personnel, responded to the reports and carried out thorough checks at the affected locations. At the Forestry Division along Long Circular Road, officers conducted a walkthrough of the facility with staff, following which the building was deemed safe after no suspicious items were found. A similar response was undertaken at K-Park Hotel, where officers conducted checks and a walkthrough of the facility with staff. The TTPS said inquiries into the threats are continuing and urged members of the public to remain calm, avoid spreading unverified information, and report any relevant information to the authorities.
And on the international scene, China's humanoid robot games in Beijing are testing the abilities of machines while showcasing the progress of the country's robotics industry. Al Jazeera has the latest.
Office workers no longer need feel alone in their fears that robots are coming for their jobs. Athletes may be at risk too. At the World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing, Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint record has, unsurprisingly, been beaten. These robots are unstoppable, literally unstoppable. That's why they run full speed into a giant cushion before their human handlers carry them away on stretchers. The event in Beijing, organized by China Media Group, is designed to test robot capabilities and show off their progress.
Robots are not just a technology, but an industry and an economy. They represent the future we will all face together. Through this event, we hope to showcase the development and progress of robots in the past year.
Robotic automation is increasingly replacing human labor in manufacturing. Despite the slow march